Great. So guys, welcome to another session of our code trailers. CodeCue right here, and in this code trailer we are going to continue from where we left off in the previous one. So this is a third video in a series of videos we are doing on the topic how to create a full website. And this is where we left off in the previous video. We learned how to use the Bootstrap container, row and column classes to lay out our page. So what you see on screen, we have 3 rows: row 1, row 2, row 3. And in row 2, we have 2 columns, column this, column that. Great. So what do we want to do today? In this video, we want to learn how to achieve navigation bars using Bootstrap. So we are going to do a navigation bar on this web page. Okay, great. So there are certain features every website has. Every website has a navigation bar. It's kind of like a menu bar. Okay, so how can we achieve that? Great. With Bootstrap, we can achieve that easily. So what we are going to do is we are going to move straight to Bootstrap website, getbootstrap.com. And this is their home page. So to get the codes for your navigation bar using Bootstrap, go to documentation. Now on the sidebar on the left, click on components. Now there are a list of components that Bootstrap offers: badges, breadcrumbs, buttons, carousels, forms, jumbotrons, modals, but we are interested in nav bars. Okay, so we click on nav bars, and here there's a documentation on how to use the Bootstrap nav bar. But what we are interested is we want to scroll down and then get sample codes. Okay, these are all sample codes for Bootstrap nav bar. So to implement our nav bar, which will look something like this, we just copy this sample code. Okay, we copy this sample code into our project. Then we have our nav bar. That is how Bootstrap make things easier. You don't have to write all this code, just copy into your project. So this is what I have done, and I am moving to the project. Great. So this is the file in which I'm writing my code for my web page. This is my body with this background color, and I've declared my container which contains the rows. Okay, let's go back to the preview. So here is my body with the ash background, my container with a white background, and this is my first row with the kind of light brown background, and this is where I want my navigation bar to be. Okay, every row should contain a column, at least one column. Just like we see here, this row contains 2 columns, but this row doesn't have any column. So we go back to the code. This is the container. This is row 1. Great. So row 1 needs a column to begin with, and the column has to be full width. Okay, we don't want, let's say, 1 column on the left, 1 column on the right. We want a full width column. So div of the class column MD medium screen, that is it, medium screen, and then 12, so that we span the how do you call it, the full width of the page. Okay, all right, so we have this. Great. So this row has only 1 column, and in that column I want my navigation bar, so I paste my code that way. So my navigation bar code begins from here and ends here. And these are the menus. Okay, these are the menus in the navigation bar. I can edit them to whatever menus I want. So this is the home menu and other links. So I can edit all this stuff, but for now I want to save, and then we see how it appears on the page. So we will go and get a preview. This is how it's appearing currently. Let me refresh, and we see. So straight up, we have our navigation bar at the top, and it's working perfectly. It's working perfectly. Navigation bar is working perfectly, and this is even for drop downs, which is awesome. It has a search feature which has not been activated yet, but it's cool. It's cool. That is great. Okay, I think we are getting somewhere now. I want to move this color background for the row so that we can appreciate the navigation bar more. So let me go back to my editor, and this is the row which has this color background. I just want to get rid of that property and say delete. Great, so it has no color background now. I have saved and I want to preview. Great, so this is what we have, okay, the navigation bar at the top. But one thing we realize is the navigation bar is not very clear. It's a little bit not really visible, okay, because of the color. So we want to change the color for that. How do you do that in Bootstrap? Let's see. So we go back to the code, and this is where our navigation bar starts. And these are the classes that controls the navigation bar, okay? And it says navigation bar light. We want something dark. So instead of the light, we replace it with dark. Navigation bar light, no, we want something dark. So there is a class in Bootstrap, navigation bar dark, and that is what we use. So instead of light, we replace it with dark. And we do the same for here. Background dark. Great. So I save and we go and preview and see what we get. Great. So we get a darker navigation bar, which is more visible. We have the liberty to style it anyhow we want. Okay, we can change the colors as and when we want. But one thing we want to do, it seems the navigation bar is hitting the top of the browser, the top of the page. We want a space. So what are we going to do? Let's go to our code. Great. So if the navigation bar is hitting the top of the browser, we want some margin between the top of the browser and then the navigation bar. So we use CSS and we say, give us a margin to the top. So margin top, that's the property we use. And we give it a value of, let's say, 80 pixels. Okay. And then we save. And we see what we get when we preview. Great. So here is our navigation bar dropping far down from the top of the browser. So this region here can be a good region for us to place a logo. Do you get it? And then we can place maybe some arts in the right side on top of the navigation bar if we want. But in this video, this is what we want to achieve now. How to do a navigation bar. So let me give you a quick overview again. To do the navigation bar, go to bootstrap.com. When you land on their home page, click on documentations. Now, the nav bar is a component. So on the left side of the screen, you have a sidebar with menus. Click on the menu item components. There are a lot of components there. Badges, buttons, carousels, but we are interested in nav bars, so click on nav bars. When you are done, you can read about the documentation on nav bars or go straight down to copy the sample code. Okay, now paste this code in your project and you are good to go. So this is a quick video on how to get navigation bars or integrate navigation bars in your page using Bootstrap. It is straightforward. You write much code. Thank you very much. I'm grateful. I wish this video, or I hope this video was educative. You like it. I look forward to creating awesome videos going forward, just like this one. Cheers.